Hi guys. So yeah, different change of scenery. I am at a rescue barn that I volunteer at. I usually go every Friday night, but yeah, just wanted to give you a little update. It is freezing outside, which is why I'm all bundled up. Anyway. Nope. There goes a horse. But yeah. So, I've been here for or at least I've been volunteering at the barn for 8 years maybe? Offhand, I don't remember what year I started volunteering here, but at least 8 years. I've been volunteering in general for about 8, maybe 12 years? I don't remember offhand the number, but I've been volunteering for a while. A long time. But yeah, it's cold. My nose is a little bit of red. My toes are red though. I mean, I'm stupid me. I wore flip-flops, which is not good. See? Flip-flops. No. Bad idea to wear in freezing cold. But, I mean, I've practically always done that. I've always worn flip-flops for, since I was in maybe middle school. Okay. I wouldn't say always wear flip-flops. I always wear flip-flops. I wear them a lot. And when I was in school, I would always wear them up until the first day it snowed. Some may call me crazy for doing that, but I mean, it's what I've done. And so, yeah, I mean, it's probably not the appropriate footwear to wear when you're dealing with horses, because they could step on your foot and possibly break it. Well, they will most definitely break your foot if they step on it, because they are at least 900 plus pound animals. So yeah, that's a little bit about horses, I guess. Itty bitty bit about size and stuff, but anyway, yeah. So flip-flops in cold weather, not a great idea unless you want to get hypothermia. I don't want to get hypothermia, honestly. I don't want to get any kind of sickness unless it's for a medical study and for the benefit of everybody. Otherwise, I don't. But yeah, so I've been volunteering for at least a decade. Around there. Yeah, I used to ride horses a lot when I was younger. In middle school up until sophomore or junior in high school, I used to ride horses. That was fun. And I used to play soccer since I was 5 up until about the same time, sophomore, junior in high school. But I had to stop both, partly because of grades. But anyway, with being so active when I was younger, it kind of screwed up my left leg. I mean, I can still walk on it, so I mean, it's still usable, I guess. But, my ankle. I can pop my ankle on command, or crack it on command. Sometimes my knee pops, and every once in a while, which is very rarely, but every once in a while, my hip locks up. Which is very painful, by the way. So whenever that happens, I'm basically, if I'm laying on my back and and my hip locks up, I have to like roll over onto my stomach just to get up. That's how bad it is. But yeah. So yeah, that's it's so cold. My nose is running. But yeah, that's basically part of a little bit of my active life too, from when I was younger. But anyway, yeah, so I've been volunteering for a while. Anyway, well, so yeah, that's that. Yeah, the horses are, I love horses. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like love could be a strong word. Horses are, I guess, one of my favorite animals. I like dogs. Oh, you girls okay? I think something spooked them. But yeah, I like dogs. Now, they're probably like one of my top 5 favorite animals, but they're probably like 2 or 3. They're probably like number 2 or 3. Yeah. Horses, dogs. My number 1 definite favorite would have to be cats, though, because I love cats. When I was 5, I got a cat at a birthday party, which it's kind of a funny story. So, yeah, back when I was 5, my mom took me to a birthday party, and instead of goodie bags, their cat had just had kittens. And little backstory on that. My mom's not a big fan of cats. She's more of a dog person. So, when we went to the party, she found out that the kittens were pretty much the take-home gift, goodie bag thing, whatever you want to call it. She was just like, no, Caitlin, you're not getting a cat. You can't bring the cat home. No. And so I was just like, but Mom, I already named her Annie. And who's gonna argue with a 5-year-old? I mean, you could, but chances are it would, the kid might, depending on the kid, it would probably cause a temper tantrum or something, you know? There might end up being some possible issue. But anyway, she was like, no, you can't take the cat home. And I was like, but I already named her. I already gave her a name. And after that, my mom was just like, okay, fine. You can keep the cat. Annie lived for 20 years. I mean, when she was born, her mom was a domestic, and her dad was feral. So she was like half wild. But, yeah, she lived for 20 years, which is long for a cat. But, I mean, she was a pretty girl, too. She was a tortoiseshell cat, which actually is a breed. It's kind of like a calico cat. I guess they're related in a way. I'm not entirely sure. But they look very similar to a calico cat, except tortoiseshells have very little white on them. Because Annie, she didn't have much white. The only white she really had on her was like a very thin ring. Like a very thin, like, circle band around, like, near the tip of her tail. That was, like, it in regards to white. Otherwise, she was kind of multi and multicolored, and like in regards to like the cinnamon brown color and black, which helped her blend in. But she lived for 20 years, and she was a really good hunter, because sometimes I think with her being half wild, she was outside a lot. I mean, she had had a full life. If we didn't see her for a couple of days, and my mom was like, "Where's Annie?" I was always just like, she's probably roaming around the neighborhood somewhere. But then there were a couple of times where she had gone and wandered off just to roam. And, I mean, I didn't expect her to come back for a couple of days, which was usual for her. But this one time, she didn't come back for a week. And it was, after that, it just worried me. Oh, there's a horse. But yeah, she hadn't come back for a week, and that's when I started getting worried. I was like, okay, well, where is she? Where could she be? And so my mom, I think my mom went by herself to the pound or something, but she had taken a picture with her that had Annie as one of the people, or one of the subjects of the picture. And so she took that picture with her to the pound and showed them the picture and was like, "I'm looking for this cat." And they were like, "Oh yeah, we have a cat looking like that, with that, we have a cat that looks exactly like that." And so mom was like, "Okay, I want to go see her." I guess. I don't know the exact details. I was like really young then, and I hadn't gone with her. So she went back with the picture, and lo and behold, Annie was in one of the cages, or one of the cages. I don't know what to call them, but for all intents and purposes right now, we'll just call them cages. So she was in one of those, and she was like sitting in the way back, just growling. And because she hated enclosed spaces, because I mean she was half wild, and she was outside most of the time. She would have been a great barn cat. And so my mom finally brought her home. And I think Annie was just really great, or at least grateful to be home. And yeah, that's one time she disappeared. Now, I have a lot of other stories that I have been told. I don't necessarily remember some of them, or some of the actual events from those stories, but there's quite a few that my mom has told me over the years about her. Which will probably come in a later video. So, but yeah, that's just one story of my cat. But yeah, back to the volunteering thing. I would show the horses, probably, but I'm not quite sure if that would be appropriate, considering some of the rules at the barn that I volunteer at. But yeah, barn, I've been here for like an hour, at least an hour. But yeah, girls are pretty much done eating for right now. So I will, I've gotta give one of them a little extra forage, which is pretty much just chopped up grass, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. But yeah, I've gotta fill that, so I guess this would be a good time to say au revoir. See you later.